What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to look at this Bitcoin chart yet again and try to see if we can make some sense of these things and talk about the craziness that is currently going on in the market and with our government and the world economy. Now, before we begin, let me remind you that this is not financial advice. I am not out here with a crystal ball trying to tell you that I know what the price of Bitcoin is going to be. That ain't me. I'm just a commentator. I'm like John Madden calling an NFL football game, telling you what's going on as the action is taking place. That's what sets me apart from all of the other YouTubers. Okay, so we're going to just start right here on this 4-hour chart, and we notice that we've got one long period of massive resistance as we keep bumping up against the black dash line. Yet, we have not broken through. Okay, so that is at roughly $28,800. And I'm telling you what, this is incredible. Look at this time period. Look at this. This is what you call one heck of a consolidation. When you have consolidation that goes this long, it means the impending breakout is going to be strong. And it's either going to break like this strong or it's going to break like this strong. But we don't know which way. It's a 50-50 shot. And when we look at the previous stochastic peaks and low points, as I always tell you, and compared to the price, it confirms that we are in a serious period of consolidation and side banding. Let's check it out. This peak kind of got us into this middle zone here. The next peak, it just kind of bumped us close to the black dash line, and then we jump down to this low point. Price stays the same. High point, price touches, goes through the black dash line, but gets wicked out. At the low point, we come to the bottom of this range where we bounced off of the 50 EMA. The next peak, we go back to the dash line and we get rejected. The next dip, we're right back at the 50 EMA. The next peak, we're just up in the middle of the zone. The next dip, we go below the 50 EMA, but still within the trading range of the side banding. The next peak, we wicked through the black dash line and petered out, then touched it again and had a hard rejection. Next dip, back to the 50 EMA, and now we're at what seems to be a peak with an impending crossover about to happen. That's how you read the chart, guys, okay? So whenever these peaks and dips aren't giving you volatility and you're just getting this, as long as we're in here, these peaks and dips are docile. They're not going to wreck us. Because of that, we don't really know if this crossover is going to bring a massive correction or if it'll even hold out. As you can see, it looked like we were going to have a crossover here, a bearish cross, but it popped back up. And so now it's touching again, about to cross over, but we don't know if it's going to cross or not. Look at that. It's touching, okay? So the possibilities are it crosses on over and we start a down cycle, or it continues up to the overbought zone. Now, what we can also notice is that on the MACD, looking at the oscillators, it's the same thing. We had this massive peak here, and then we had the little bumps in between. But overall, what is this looking like here? It looks like a declining zone, okay? Look at this thing. I mean, this is just incredible. And then we notice that the oscillators, or rather the histogram, the bubbles up above and below the zero line are losing volatility. Now this one was a little bit bigger, but now we're back into these little baby cycles where we went from red to green and back to red. And so that tells me we could be at the end of the consolidation period. So we don't know what's going to happen, and this 4-hour chart doesn't tell us much. Okay, now while all this is going on, let me flip to the 1-day chart. We got this Operation Kill Crypto. What is it? It's here it is right here. Operation Choke Point is what they're calling this. Let's just read this. The U.S. government's crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry has intensified in recent months, leading to concerns among crypto enthusiasts and investors. Dubbed Operation Choke Point 2.0, this coordinated effort aims to restrict the industry's access to traditional finance, ultimately aiming to suffocate the sector. That's very serious, and we need to think about this. Let's rewind a couple of years and remember when Crypto.com bought the naming rights to the Staples Center, where the Lakers play basketball, one of the most iconic sports franchises in the world. Think back when FTX bought the naming rights to, was it the Miami Heat? I believe it was. Okay. And then the Super Bowl before last, where we had nothing but crypto commercials. And crypto was a buzz in the news every day. And they were saying that crypto was about to become mainstream. Now, that's quite a contrast when compared to what we see right now as our corrupt politicians are trying to, well, not trying, they're doing it. They're launching an offensive against crypto, first by attacking the banks. It's no coincidence that the banks that have failed are the ones that were the biggest on and off ramps to cryptocurrency. No coincidence. That's one way you can choke out crypto, make it impossible to be able to cash out. And now we've gone so far to the point where we see our actual congresswoman who, where is she from? Elizabeth Warren. Is she California? I forgot. Where she's just outright speaking very negatively about cryptocurrency and talking openly about how the federal government needs to implement a CBDC. We have the FedNow program set to launch in July. And we have politicians that want to see the end of cryptocurrency. Why? Because they will lose control over their ability to print money and control the population. We also see this ridiculous attack against TikTok. And I know, everyone is saying that TikTok is a vulnerability because of the data collection that goes to China. Is that a real threat? Maybe so, maybe not. But I'm going to tell you one thing, it's smoke and mirrors, because what's behind this is Facebook, also known as Meta, their new name, which is not going to help anything because they're going to fail one day. It's Meta coming up against TikTok for smearing them in the competition for social media. Mark Zuckerberg has a smug grin on his face as his paid politicians attack TikTok. And it's so ridiculous. You see congressperson after congressperson speaking to the CEO of TikTok, assuming that he's Chinese, which he is not. It's insane, some of the assumptions that are being made. But what is behind this attack is Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, Instagram, losing a grip on social media supremacy. All right. So I just wanted to bring that up and make you think about that, drawing a comparison between what we saw on the news and what the general consensus was in this country 2 years ago compared to what we have going on today. It is flat out disgusting corruption, and the U.S. government is looking more like communist China every single day. Now, they want to pass a bill, I forgot what the name of the bill is, where they can further control us by making it illegal to use a VPN. In other words, that is a guard against knowing where you are entering and accessing the internet. And this bill states if they catch you using a VPN to use an exchange to trade crypto or to get on a social media app and use it, you can be put in jail for 20 years or fined $20,000, something absurd. It involves jail and doing jail time and a fine, which is so ridiculous. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. But our federal government is on the verge of passing a bill that basically takes away our rights, our freedoms, and threatens you with jailing and with ridiculously oppressive fines. Think about that. Now, all in all, I'm not really worried because I don't think that any of this is going to stick in the long run. But let's get back to this chart. Let's go to the one-day chart. And the one day, we can see this looking kind of like a bull flag. You could call this a bull flag, sort of. You could have your flagpole here. I'm open to viewing this as a bull flag. And so this would take you to like 40,000 or 38,000 if this actually broke out to the upside. But again, it's just too early to tell. We have a kind of a divergence that's going on here where you see the stochastic going down, price creeping up, MACD oscillators coming down, and also the histogram coming down. Some will call this a bearish divergence. Some will call it a bullish divergence. It just depends on your opinion, but I don't know if we can clearly call this. So even from this one-day chart, it does look like we have a possible positive bullish break that could be coming out of this, but I would not be surprised if some tremendous mega FUD comes through and causes us to come crashing back down to the 50 EMA or to the purple dash line or worse. Okay, so that's the one day. We really can't call this action on the one-day chart. We're going to have to move to the 1 week and see what it looks like. On the 1 week, this is a little bit more interesting. We'll just look at this zone right here that we're in. This looks very bullish, but we're actually kind of at the peak of this move here. So here was a peak here, and then we have another peak right here. And then when we look upstairs, we see the peak here returned us this bullish move. This peak pushed us up on this bullish move. But are we at the top of that? We see that the fast line and the slow line are still divergent. It could still be moving up, but it's kind of interesting to note that it is a coincidence that here we are right bumping onto the black dash line and that we're also kind of in an overbought position way above the 80 line. The only positive on this is that we see downstairs on the MACD that we have a steadily inclining set of oscillators, and plus we have solid green instead of light green on the histogram, which says positive strength. Okay, the only thing that we don't really have on here to support a break to the upside is the volume node down below is much bigger and stronger. As we go back down here towards the red dash line, the volume node coming up above is not nearly as big, but it's somewhere around, let's get a price here. Some people are saying 32,000 or this node here. Let me clear this out. And I could agree with that. I think it's possible. That's why I'm saying nobody really knows here. Let's scrunch this down a little bit so we can see what the price is. Here's the node at 38,000. I'm hearing people say 32,000 and 38,000. Both of those targets have credence. Okay, it's possible because we have the volume node at 38,000 right there, and we have the volume node at 32,000 right about there. Okay, well, it doesn't look like it. I need to scrunch this down a little bit more to see that 32,000 volume node. So let's move this down and move this in. And now let's see if we can see it here. Here's 29,000. Well, that actually doesn't pop up. 38 is very strong, and I don't see much at 32. So I'm going to say no to the 32,000 possibility. I'm thinking it's going to either be the bump up to 38 or capitulate. It's 38 or capitulate. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. All right. So that's what we're looking like on the 1 week. I think that is kind of somewhat bearish, but let's look at the 1 month and then we're done. So on the 1 month, this is tricky because it looks very bullish on the MACD as we're about to have a bullish crossover here, but we see how the oscillators are kind of curling over a little bit there. Is this going to continue up and bend back up, or are we going to get a crossover? I don't know. So based on the MACD, bullish. Based on the stochastic, weakishly bullish. Bullish with slight weakness. Based on this chart, I would have to say that, if I had to guess, you would see rejection off of this red dash line, come down here somewhere for the final capitulation and then a launch like that. And that's just a guess. So we're at 50-50. We really don't know what's going to happen, and there's too much nonsense going on and too many potential black swans and government interference. So what do? Well, you just got to ride it out. We just have to wait and see. Okay, I'm going to jump back into the comments really quickly from the last video. We had Super Rush with a great comment here talking about how he wished he could have got some more BTC at 16K. I wish I could have jumped in at the 14, but we missed that. Could we get another chance? Maybe, but there's plenty of other projects, and you can read my answer here. I'm looking for altcoins that will outperform Bitcoin. Now, the chances of that are not that high, but I want to get lucky. One I did get lucky on was Caspa. I'm up 10x. I spent $400. I'm sitting at $4,000 right now as we speak. So that was a great comment from Super Rush. And then next we had Ibrahim Hamada. Let's see. Oh no, Abdurrahim Hamada. And said he wanted a Caspa update, and I just got one in. It is posted right now. I did it tonight. And then last but not least, we have the Crazy Mofo 22 with a super thanks of $9.99. Thank you very much, Crazy Mofo 22. And to reward you, I tell you what, any alt projects that you want me to do some TA on, post it in the comments right now, and I'm going to reward you in that next video, and I will earn that $9.99. So be on the lookout for some TA coming on the altcoins. That's about all I have for right now, but I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to be like the Crazy Mofo and help to defray the costs of the production of this channel, you may do so with the giving of a super thanks. And I thank you in advance for your help. Okay. Did I say like, comment, and subscribe? I don't remember. I'm losing it. It's late. Well, that just means one thing. I need to end this video. This is Carlton, and I am out.